Welcome everybody. We are going to do a Pilates workout, but we will be using some balls to help stimulate the fascia and loosen it up so we can get deeper into exploring the position and the challenges of what a Pilates workout is addressing and better facilitate it. So you can work with a foam roller if you like, or with whatever you have around. I have a big ball and a small ball, and to begin with, we're just going to be stimulating the sacrum because there is a lot of flexion where we contract into the stomach muscles, and we would like to start with lying on your back. If you have a foam roller, put it between your legs, but in a place that you can feel it, and then hike your bottom up and place the foam roller or ball right at the sacrum, and either hold or grab here and just allow for your low back to start to relax and elongate a little bit. A lot of us have a lot of tightness in this area because it holds so much weight. And we want to start to relieve all of that congestion and let those muscles relax. And as you do it, notice that your stomach is starting to sink in a little bit. And just focus in on how the ribs and the hips have a relationship in the front of the body. Because we'll be going to be using a lot of that to keep the low back flat and long. Now bring your legs to tabletop position. Still in this position. And just start rocking the knees very slightly left and right. So you're shifting weight, and at the same time, keep that sense of being mildly scooped and long in your waist area, the low back area, so that it can lengthen a bit. Come back to the middle, have your hands here, they can be at a foam roller, and push, literally do some pulling the ball in, and it creates more of a contraction in the front body. So you could say shortening, but you're still in a long position, and then take the ball and slightly lengthen it away from you, and start to really challenge the front muscles to talk to you, you could say. One more time. Pull the ball up. Notice the reaction in your body. Just feel into it. My shoulders have slightly curled inwards. I'm in a bit more of a rounded position. And then relax and slightly push it away. So you're creating length in the tissue in the back of the body. Now just make sure the ball feels nice and stable. Again, your ribs are floating in the direction of the floor, and in fact, feel your abdominals. Just check to see, are they actually connected? Some of us are so used to sucking in that that's a different muscle group. I want you to feel that surface band. It runs right from either side of the front ribs down towards the outside of your pubic bone. So you want to feel that area really kind of locked in, and then almost a sense of a wrapped around waist, like a big belt wrapping around. So you basically have what's called the transverse abdominis, all engaging, including your rectus abdominis, that's the six-pack, and some other layers, but you want a sense of having a corset. Keep the ball nice and stable. And take one leg and start lowering it towards the floor without losing shape. I do not mind if you get to, the goal isn't to get to the floor. The goal is to keep the back long and this whole section connected. And then bring the leg up. And then lower the other one down towards the floor again. It doesn't matter how low, you can have the leg further away, closer in, because this will start to stimulate your hip flexor to release them. And back. Now we'll start a little bit faster doing what's called just up and down, tapping having this lovely sensation of the legs floating off your abdominal area. You're not working hard in the legs right now. You are working hard in the center of the body, and the ball is coaxing the spine to get longer. You may even feel that your spinal column wants to keep letting go and lengthening as the muscles are being warmed up. The back muscles should be releasing, and the front muscles should be firming. Bring yourselves back up. Pause a minute. Let the knees drop in. And still staying on this, roll a little bit to one side. I'm rolling to my right. Hello, Wally. Are you coming to help? And back. Wally, you're in the way. And to the left. And back. Bring the knees even further in. Take the ball out of the foam roller out. And feel your back very long and flat on the mat. And then slowly bring your feet down. In this position, feel the length of your spine. Your low back should feel considerably longer with a sense of connection. And curl up. Notice I'm pulling my shoulders forward, but the rest of the spine is long. And then from here, can you bring yourself up? So we're also going to stimulate the muscles moving up the spine. We're just going to roll up either side of the spine. I will actually change it now to a smaller ball. The balls are interchangeable. They just, whatever works well for you or whatever you've got. Right side of the sacrum, coming down and focusing in. If you have a foam roller, you just roll a little bit to one side to put the pressure to that area. Just feel around for your sacrum and go a little bit lower. So you're in your glute. And feel how it's tractioning the length downwards in this low part of the spine. And now either grab your mat, so with your intention, lengthen your whole body. Notice how I'm tractioning my whole body to make it longer. So I'm taking the skeleton and I'm just saying, hey, let's get you expanded. Roll up a little bit, roll to the top of the pelvis. Now, not dropping down, lifting up. So there's pressure in the high part of the sacrum into the whole bones of the pelvis, moving towards your waist. Take a moment and now roll into the waist area, side of the spine. I'm on my right side. I've still got my hips up, so the focus is right down into that area. I'm slightly leaning off center, very slightly, because we're tracking the side of the spine. Roll a little bit further up. Now from here, you may want to drop your bottom down and perhaps hold your head, because you don't want your head to start to ache from this position. This should start to really be kicking in. Roll a little bit further up, pressing into the side of the spine. So I hope you can see where the ball is. Just off center because it's a small ball. It's very pinpointed. Bigger balls are more global. They're all good. There's no one way to do this. It's just intending to soften and lengthen the body in preparation for movement. Move further up. Now I'm in between the shoulder blades. And feel the shoulder blade on my right side. And please pull your shoulder blade away from your spine. Do you see I'm taking the shoulder blade and I'm actually moving forward. Now I'm not rounding more. I'm just rotating the shoulder blade to create more space into those muscles between the shoulder blade and the spine. That's what I want to widen and soften. And I'm staying long. This is still engaged. Move further up. So more in the middle of the shoulder blades. Take a moment to feel into this area and sink into it. Roll a little bit further up. Now I'm in the high part. And rest your side of your neck into this area the best way you can. That high part of the shoulder blades into the neck is a traffic jam of cross muscles. So there's a lot going on. Slowly roll your head a little bit back and forth. You will probably find some achy, tight spots that are talking to you. All good. So right here, find a spot that really is vocal. Take a moment, really feel into it. Take a deep breath in, breathing out, sink a little bit more, and then roll your head off or push the foam roller out and just lie down for a minute. And the side of your back that you rolled out should feel considerably longer, more spacious, more flat, and less congested. I hope so. Moving to the other side, I'm going to start at the bottom of the mat as I will be rolling up. So lay yourself out with the ball on the left side. Move in just a tiny bit. I can see you all. So stay with the pelvis down. You're feeling into the side of the sacrum and then slowly a little bit further down. So you're almost off the sacrum, but not quite. So your bottom of the sacrum on the side, you probably are visiting into the tailbone a little bit. Start to feel how the stomach area, that's this front band, is mildly contracted, and the ball that you're working with is creating a tractioning feeling of the tissue down towards the knees, towards the hips. From here, roll a little bit further up. Again, don't let the pelvis arc. You have that slight contraction. So the goal is we're taking this whole spine, we're making it as long as we can with nice support and nice relationship to the limbs. Take a moment to feel into this area. Sink and relax it. Lifting up now, and now move up towards the waist area. So top of the pelvis, into the waist, sink into this area, and feel the pressure starting to dissipate congestion or tightness. And stimulate flow, circulation, fluids. A lot of wonderful things start to happen with pressure. Roll a little bit further up. So now I'm coming towards my rib cage, and now I'm shifting over. Actually, I'm going to stay up because it still feels like I need to be here. What you want to avoid is that right now, but this only slightly. It's not like a heavy one. It's a slight one. Roll a little bit further up. Now I'm into my rib cage, just below my shoulder blades. Sinking in, softening. Our rib cage gets very, very tight. It's a bony, strong structure. A lot of things are going on here, and they can get fixed. Roll further up. Now I'm into the middle of my shoulder blade area, getting a sense of the whole spine being long. Elbows are shoulder blades are right. Remember what we did on the other side. Making sure the shoulder blade is pulled away from the spine so you can get even deeper into the spinal column right there and decongest any stuck energy that can accumulate. Roll a little bit further up, top of the shoulder blade. Probably you feel more massy because there's more layers of muscle in this area, and you just want to visit them and imagine getting more spacious. Almost imagine like a pebble sinking down into a pond, but maybe the pond is molasses as just a metaphoric concept of what the feeling should be. You want this spreading concept, making space. Roll up. I have to, whoa. Yeah, I just broke my necklace. Never mind. Come on up towards the neck, side of the neck. Let yourself sink in there. This is a tender spot for many people. Slowly start to move your head sideways, just to feel into anything that may have something to say to you. And as you're exploring, find a spot that's put its hand up and said, I want attention, and just take a moment to settle in there. Listen in, see if you can relax and embrace the pressure to sink and open, and take a deep breath in. Breathing out, sink, and let that pressure release even more. And then grab your head, lift it up a bit, put the head back down, and take a moment to feel into your own body. Feel what is kicked in. Both sides of my body feel a lot more evened out. Very long and a certain amount of firmness here, which is what we're striving for with the inspiration of what we'll be working towards. Please come on up to a seated position. And let me double check. Here's the rest of my necklace. Just don't want to lose it. Sitting up now. You want to be sitting up tall and see, like rolling like a ball. Do you notice that when I've lifted my hips, I've rocked a little bit forward? Now, I'm not collapsed down, but I'm just a tiny bit back of the sit bones, between the sit bones and the tail. Can you feel the stomach engaging? In fact, put your hands here, feel if those muscles are kicking in. Sometimes they're not. Let's have our hands on our knees. So not holding, can you start to push yourself back? So you're pressing the legs out and making this work. So just see if you can find a spot where you're really working hard. You're working to get the stomach and low back towards the mat, but you haven't fallen down. So sometimes people just collapse, come back up again. Sometimes people fall down because they're actually weak and hypermobile. So you want to pay attention to your body. We're trying to wake up those weak links that support the front and the back. So here we go again, hands by the knees. Make sure you're not arcing and see if you can get a sense of elongating away. The legs are going away. And hold the position. Hold the position. Hold the position, maybe going lower with these muscles kicking in. Hold. Hold. Hold and come back down to the floor. I hope something fired up there for you. From here, feet and knees hip width apart. We're just going to bridge now, waking up the back part of the body. Press your waist into the mat so you fire this area slightly. Your tail should not be off the floor. So if you're a tucky person, keep it down, not over tucking. Find the abdominal muscles as dominant in relation to the hips and squeeze the glutes and release. Squeeze the glutes and release. Can you squeeze the glutes without swinging the pelvis up? So you really start to get this line right in here to fire. Again, squeeze, 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 and squeeze. Now we're going to bring our feet, so knees and feet together, heels are together, toes out and knees out. So you'll have a slight external rotation. Again, get that low back. So we're looking at the waist, not the hip flexors, to really lengthen and firm. And now squeeze the same muscles and just press the knees out a little bit. And you can give yourself a little resistance. So we're working into this outer band. Wrap the buttocks together. Wrap the buttocks together and feel how you're still pressing and firming. You're not sucking. You're firming this area. You're creating like a tube. 2 more times. Squeeze and squeeze. From here, we're going to bridge up so that we're in a Pilates stance and we lift using those muscles. Roll down. Squeeze and lift the hips. And roll down. Squeeze, lift the hips. Roll down. Squeeze, lift the hips. So the knees are slightly out, the toes are out, but the heels are touching. Squeeze and lift the hips. And down. One more time like this. Squeeze and lift the hips. Lengthening out. And lowering down. From here, lengthen your legs out and we'll do a few roll-ups just to loosen everything up. So flex your feet, Stretch your arms over your head and just for a minute stretch out. Just work the heels and the hands away from each other, making as much length and much warmth as you possibly can. Keep the heels long and bring the arms up. And now here we go. Connect into this area. Can you make it be the lifter? Stretch long and roll back using the front of the body. This is all about this band lowering you down. That was 1. We're going to go for 10. Curl up again. Stretch and roll down using that band of muscle and long. Again, that's 2. This is our third one. 3. And down. Again, 4. And down. Again, 5. And down. Now we'll do 5 faster ones just for the sake of mobility. So we have fast twitch muscles. 1, 2. Just do it at your own speed. You don't have to be in my speed. 3. I'm just setting a form of a tempo that you don't have to follow. 4. And 5. Take a moment to rest. And take your arms to the side, open your feet hip width apart, come up more or less on the yoga mat, and drop both knees to one side. Come back, drop both knees to the other side. Come back, both knees to the first side. Come back, both knees to the other side. Come back, one more time, both knees to the first side, and just pause here. Take a moment. If you want to go deeper, you take the foot and you press it into the knee. And now, this is the thing. Now you let yourself arc a little bit so that all the muscles running down here start to create length. And allow the hip to turn in. It's as important as turning out. Take a moment. Back. Drop both knees to the other side. Bring your foot up if you want to. Remember, you're pushing the knee away from you. It's going to change the shape of your pelvis. The pelvis will start to arc. Let the body move with the energetics of what's happening. And come back. Very good work. Bend the knees. Roll yourself up. And now the same concept we had a minute ago. We're going for our rolling like a ball. So you want your hands here. So instead of pulling the knees, actually let's start. I changed my mind. We're going to do 5 rolls like this just to warm up. So grab, have fun, just roll back to massage your back and come up. Again. So the whole goal here is just to soften up the muscles on your back, making them more mobile, less resistive, and dispersing all the energy everywhere. It should feel quite nice. One more time like this, because I forgot my counts. And come back up. Now we're going to go for the challenge. So here you are. See if you can get a sense of pushing away. If you can get your arms longer, great. And we're going to roll back and forth like this. Now the focus is here. So roll. And can you find that balance? Again, roll. Find that balance. Oh, there we go. Roll. Find that balance. 2 more times. Roll. Scoop. 1 more time. Scoop. And come up to a seated position. Using rolling like a ball just to stretch out the hamstrings a little bit. You will extend the legs over your head like overhead. So lift your feet up, roll over and float the feet in the direction of the floor. And then bend the knees and roll up. We'll do 5. That was 1. Roll back, reach towards the floor, roll 2. Again, roll back, reach towards the floor, roll 3. 2 more times. Roll back, reach towards the floor. Roll 4. Last one. Roll back, reach towards the floor. Roll 5. Come up to a seated position. So you just want to get this sense of the back and the spine extending, lifting. So now we're working these muscles to release them. We're going to go with, this is a very eclectic, not traditional practice. It's Pilates inspired, but we're going to just play around with different works out. So because now we're using the back muscles, we're going into our spine stretch forward. So hands are up, lift up the waist, and now as you go forward, see if you can lengthen out your back the way you did a minute ago. Roll back and feel your back muscles lengthening and open up the chest. Big breath in, start opening up the back muscles and supporting the low back with the stomach and abdominal muscles. And up again, rolling forward and reaching. And coming back up. And again, forward and reaching, stretching the spine out. And up, and the last one is just for flexibility. Open your legs wider if you want to. Hands on the floor, and just stretch as far out as you can. Let yourself relax. Let the tissue open. Let your head drop. Forget about any specific shape. Just allow the body to let go. Take a deep breath in here. Breathing out, go a little bit deeper. And bring yourselves back up to an upright position. Very nice. Bringing your feet back together. Remember, we're going into the series of 5. We're probably not going to do all 5, but can you fire this front shaft, and instead of pulling, pressing. You want to get so you're on the floor, but you're holding here. One leg goes out, and feel that you have a push-pull with the arms. The stomach should be very active here. So instead of using the arms as pulleys, you're using them to almost get a sense of pushing away from the legs. Pushing away to get this to work even harder. Press. 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 And press. Bring the knees in. Take your arms to the side and a little bit of tick-tocks to relieve. You open and drop the knees towards the floor. Do not drop to the floor. Keep them off. And other side. And first side. And other side. So we're working into the side of the ribs. First side. And other side. Curl yourselves back up. Double leg stretches. The setup will be the same. Can you find that spot? Your hands are on your thighs and you're pressing away to get the trunk to start to work. So once you've fired it, you bend and you stretch. Bend, push them away and reach. Bend, press and reach. Bend, press and reach. One more time. Bend, press and reach. And come down. Arms are to the side and we'll do our tick-tocks again. This time bring the knees higher. So the knees are more, in my case, they're about in my chest. If you can get them really close to your body, please do so. Keep the knees high. Notice that it catches a different part of your trunk as you low down. Lift. Low down. Lift. Low down. And lift. Lower down. And lift. 2 more times like this. Lower. And lift. And last one. Lower. And lift. and put your feet back on the mat. And this time you'll have your feet further away from your hips width apart. Flex your feet. Your hands will be neatly by your side. Push your heels away from you. Notice that it will have a lengthening effect up and a slight shift of the pelvis. Now, feel for your hamstrings. Are they starting to kick in? Are your glutes starting to kick in? Use those muscles to lift. Those muscles to lower. Keep pushing your heels away from you. Press and lift. And down. Press and lift. And down. Press and lift. And down. 2 more times like this. Press and lift. And down. 1 more time. Press and lift. And down. Now, arms and legs straight. Lengthening everything out again, just stretch from side to side. So we're decongesting, we're tightening everything. And then every time we're visiting this lengthening, loosening, releasing place. And roll yourselves up. Once you're here again, for scissors, find this spot where you're tucked. Your hands are in front of your knees and you're going down. Can you get down there without falling back? Lift the legs and push, push. So the push is almost using yourself to get even more into your stomach. Push, 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 push. And now a little bit of flexibility. Pull, 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 pull. Pull, 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 and bend the knees in, hands behind your head. Just relax for a minute. Let the elbows go wide. Check that you can feel how the back is engaged, is long, and it's being supported by the stomach, and lift your legs up. Now keep your elbows as wide as you're able to and curl up. So your stomach should be working pretty hard by now. Lower, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift. 1 more time like this. Lower, lift. Now, drop your head down and we're getting into tick-tock. So we're doing tick-tocks between each one, arms to the side. Make sure the waist there is. It's more the navel. It's not so much that tailbone. Can you get the high part anchored in and lift your legs up? From here, the hips are tight. So remember how we were working into the glutes. Can you get them fired to give your pelvis stability? And keeping them fired, take your legs 45 degrees, I don't care how low you go, but stay in control. No falling to the floor. Come back. Take your legs in the opposite direction. No falling to the floor. And back. Keep that sacrum long. And just be aware of what your personal tendencies are. Some people are archy people. Some people are tucky people. You want to know what your tendencies are and do your best to be careful about not overdoing it and challenging yourself where you need to. Then bend the knees in and bring the legs to tabletop. Bring your hands behind your head. Elbows are wide. Curl up. And we're doing crisscross, but we're doing it just upper body. So elbows nice and wide. Rotate to one side. Center, rotate to the other side. You should be feeling the obliques. Center, rotate, center, rotate, center, rotate, center, rotate, and center. Bring the feet down, quite close to the bottom, heels together, knees together. Narrow your hips. See if you can get that clamping feeling. It's like you're taking your femurs and pressing them into the sockets. Keeping that sensation, lift the hips up, lower down. Release the muscles, clamp the hips into the sockets, lift them up, lower down. Release. Clamp the hips together, lift, lower down. Release. Clamp, lift, and down. Release. 2 more times. Clamp, lift, and down. Last one. Nice clamp, nice lift, and down. Now from here, stretch your arms out again. Make sure you feel nice and long. Open everything up. Feel along the sides of the ribs into the armpits length, even if your waist has come off the floor right now. So our priorities keep changing depending upon what exercise we're doing. We're going to stretch out this side even further. So the first movement you want to do is I'm taking my right leg to the right and bringing my left leg around. So the left side of my body is having a lovely long stretch. Right hand and hiking around even further. If this is too much, you can hold your elbows, but you want to feel like a half moon stretching off to the right, so the left side of your whole body is getting a real good stretch. You're opening up the sides of the ribs, you're opening up your armpit, you're opening up your triceps, you're opening up your waist, your hips, and maybe even your IT band. It just depends where your body's ready to open and talk to you. Bring yourselves back to the middle. Stretch yourself out if you went into a shape that doesn't feel right. And now left foot to the left, right foot to the left arm and right arm. So again, this feeling of a half moon position. Double check that the right shoulder is on the floor and the right hip is on the floor. There's a tendency always to roll inwards, and you want that very lateral side of the body being challenged. Lengthening, stretching, opening, releasing any final tension that can be happening there for you. Bring the foot back. Both feet come back, the arms come back, get yourself nicely organized, and then roll up. And we'll do another spine stretch forward, but we're going to do it now just for mobility and flexibility. So your legs a little bit wider than your mat. They can be just outside the mat, maybe maximum 90-degree angle. Depends upon what you feel right with. So starting with a nice lift, the hands are on the floor, the feet are flexed. Now, 2 things when you flex your feet. You can be thinking toes up and pulling your toes. You can also be focusing on the heels away from you. And I'd like you to see if you can get in touch with how to lengthen the Achilles, lengthen the heel. The toes are just a reaction. And again, these are very subtle differences in how you focus. And now all you're going to do is walk your hands as far forward as you can go. Just a nice long rounded stretch. And then roll back and stack your spine up. Take a breath in. And then on your out breath, start creepy crawling the fingers forward. You're stretching every part of your spine and your ribs and your hamstrings out. Maybe even your calves. Roll back up and lift. Big breath in. Last one, creepy crawly. Walking these fingers forward. Stretching out the whole spine. Maybe your head's on the floor. Maybe you're very far. It doesn't matter. You just want to really, really, really get in touch with your own body, because it's the only body you've got, and that's you want to be navigating your field. And there's a wonderful quote I like to share that a client of mine has on her wall. Be yourself. Everybody else is taken. I love that. It's like, be yourself. So here we are, open leg rocker. Find that same spot. See if you can connect in. There's that fine line. The pelvis wants to swing. It does swing a bit, but the priority is in the abdominals, not the hip flexors. So from here, one leg goes up. Bring it back. Can you do all of this movement without anything changing in your pelvis? The whole idea is you create a lot of stability and groundedness, and then the limbs move without anything happening in the trunk. So you're really isolating what's stable and what's moving. Then extend both arms out. Keep this trunk nice and stable. We're going to roll back and up 5 times. So here we go. Rolling back and rolling up, attempting to stay very even. Roll back towards the shoulders, maybe even towards the neck. Rolling up again. Rolling back. Rolling up. 2 more times like this. Rolling back. Rolling up. 1 more time. Rolling back. Rolling up. And bring your legs together. Walk down your legs. And bring yourself on the floor for corkscrew. So the pelvis is going to stay down. Can you find that clamping feeling of the hips? It's a little bit of glutes and a little bit in the high part of the IT band. Put your hands between your inner thighs. Are they firing? They can get sluggish. For me, I need to keep checking. Am I actually working them, or have they just turned off and become lazy? So maybe you have the same problem. Never trust your body's doing its best. We all have strengths and weaknesses. So the toes will come a little bit further over. Wherever you can, the hips stay down, and then you'll circle round to the right. You want this feeling of a massaging around your sacrum. Reverse and up. Reverse and up. Reverse and up. Reverse and up. Last one. Reverse and up. From here, we're going into jackknife. So we're actually going to be lifting our hips up to the ceiling, and we'll go slow the first few. So you take your legs to 45 degrees. Bring your legs back to vertical. Bring your legs to 45 degrees or wherever you can. And now imagine a diagonal line. Your bottom will follow up, rolling up in the air. Roll back down. So you roll down and then take your legs out. Again, diagonal, roll up, roll down, and out. Push into the floor with your hands as you do this. So lift, roll down, and out. 2 more times like this. Push down with the arms to lift, work your lats, and down. 1 more time. Do the best you can, even if your bottom barely comes off the floor. Roll down, and now slowly lower the legs all the way to the floor. Take a moment, again, twisting side to side. Your feet are hip width. Your arms are to the side. Drop one knee down. Roll to the other side. Again, first side. Other side. First side. And other side. From here, we're going to have our knees together and our feet apart. So the feet are about the hip width of your hips. So now you have internal rotation. So we're basically working different parts of the glutes in relation to the low back as we do this. Your hands are neatly by your side, so they can be out. And squeeze your inner thighs together. Check, are the inner thighs working? Are the knees working? Are the hips working? and use all of that to lift up. You may be able to go quite far or not. It doesn't matter. It matters that you work your body and you get in touch with the muscle structure that's moving the bones and then releasing and lengthening and opening up more potential. And roll down. 2 more times like this. Roll up. Roll down. 1 more time. Roll up. And roll down. For the next one, we will be doing this on our stomachs, but I'd like you to come up to a seated position for a minute. We are going to be lying on our stomach like swimming, where the legs are long. So let's have our hands here just to emulate. And I would like you to imagine that you've got a stretchy band in front of you. So we'll be lifting our legs and our hands off the floor and then bending our arms back to open the chest, pulling into the chest and then back out. And all of this is with the head and the feet off the floor. So let's do this a few times. I'm hoping that as you do this, you have a sense of opening the chest and contracting the high back muscles, because that's a feeling you want to attempt to wake up when you are on your stomach. And for a lot of us, the high muscles are very dormant, to say the least. So let's lie on our stomachs. The legs are long, the arms are long. And now you lift your legs off the floor, so you check that your glutes and your hamstrings are working, and the hands are off the floor. How high you go is your talent and capacity, but from here, pull the arms back and out, and pull the arms back, and so you're dragging yourself forward and out. Pull the arms back and out. Again, pull the arms back. See if you can lift up and out. 1 more time. Pull the arms back and out. Drop down. Just for a minute, sit back into your heels. Stretch everything out. And come back on your stomach with your weight up on your elbows. Let's start with the knees bent. In this position, you just get a bit of a nice lift. You press your hip bones and pubic bone down, so you're burying your sacrum. Now, from here, this is emulating a position that we sometimes do on the reformer. I'm hoping you feel your glutes and your hamstrings right now. So extend one leg out, lift it a bit, and bend it back, and out, and bend, and out, and bend, and out. 1 more time like this, bend, and out. Bring it back, release your glutes for a minute, and again, bury the sacrum. It's not tucking, it's just activating the whole pelvis. Lift your other leg, straighten, and bend, straighten, and bend, straighten, and bend, straighten, and bend. Last one, straighten, and bend. Both legs back, heels together, knees are slightly apart. Again, hip bone and pelvis, and now see if you can lift both knees and feet straight up. Some of you can go really high. Release. Maybe your thighs fly way up. Make sure you're not pulling in. That's the only thing. Straight up and down. Hips straight up. Make those hamstrings and glutes kick in and down. 2 more times. Lift and down. Last one. Lift and down. Extend your legs. Again, sit into your heels. Stretch your back out. Walk your hands forward. And now come on your hands and knees. We're doing a few cat-cows, but notice I have my knees together and my feet together. So when you round. I want you slightly back, and the feeling is you're pushing your knees into the floor. So it's this area you need to activate. Feel almost like you're pressing into the floor with the knees, and the back is a reaction. And now you're pulling your hands this way to open your chest. Press into the floor with your knees to get the curve of the back. And drag your heels towards the knees to create the arc. Press your knees into the floor. And drag the heels of your hands. One more time, press. And drag. And from here, let's do some clams. So today we've been doing a lot of work in a lot of unusual places. So your knees and your feet are together. You can be down. I'm actually going to stay down now. Knees and feet together. The heels should be in line with your sit bones. Bring the knee up and down. Lift your knee and down. Lift the knee and down. Lift the knee and down. Your knee can go very high, I'm sure. You take the knee as high as you can without your hip moving. My range of movement is quite limited, so I'm just repping this. You need to figure out, remember your own body. Be yourself. Everybody else is taken. So you probably have a lot of talent here. Use it. Then from here, extend the leg. The leg is parallel. And get a sense of having it stretching long into the heel. Lift the leg. Lower it. When you lower it towards the floor, feel as though you're pulling your socket. You'll lengthen this area out. We tend to get short in there. And lengthen the leg out. Lift. And lengthen the leg out. Lift. And lengthen the leg out. And the leg can go as high as you want. You just don't want to shorten in the waist. And down. One last time like this. Lift. And down. And other side. So starting with the feet bent. Heels in line with the sit bones. Lift your knee. And down. Lift. And down, lift, and down, lift, and down, lift, and down. One last time like this, lift, and down. Now your leg will be straight. Get a sense of heel, hip, shoulder, and head in the same line as though you're standing. And lift the leg. Lower it down, lift the leg, lower it down, lift, and down, and lift, and down, lift, and down. Last one like this, lift, and down. And from here, no workout can be Pilates workout can be complete without a few teasers. So the feet are hip width distance. Knees are together. Your spine should feel pretty nice and long now. One leg is up. Keep your knees together. Start with your hands here. And see if you can roll up. And roll down. Roll up. Roll down. One last time like this. Roll up. And roll down. Other side. Lengthen the leg. Roll up. Roll down. Up. And down. One last time like this. Lift. And down. Bend both knees in. Lift them up to the ceiling. Today we're going hard. Handstand. Up you go. Roll. And down. Up. And down, last one, up, and down, and bring yourselves up to a seated position for our seal. 5 times, claps on both ends. Hands between the ankles, clap 3 times, clap, clap, clap. Roll back, clap, clap, clap. Roll up, clap, clap, clap. This is our second roll back, clap, clap, clap. Up, third roll, back, clap, clap, clap. Fourth one, clap, clap, clap. Back, clap, clap, clap. Last one, up, clap, clap, clap. And back, clap, clap, clap. And bring yourselves up to a seated position. So well done. This was a hard workout. I hope you feel that you've challenged yourselves and you came out the winner. And if you like the fascia release work that we did at the beginning as a preparation of the body, I am doing a full 8-week course in January for fascia release work. It's a very expanded training. If this is something that's interesting to you, please either comment below and I will get you on the mailing list, or go over to my website, leandrogabriel.com, and you can get all the information over there. Have a great day.